Muy bien, regresamos para esta última parte de la plática que estamos teniendo con Julie Freeman, la presidenta de la International Association of Business Communicators, y ella nos ha estado diciendo algunas cosas muy interesantes en torno a la comunicación dentro de las empresas. Para este último bloque quiero preguntarle a Julie cómo afrontar tiempos de crisis tomando como base la comunicación. How do we use communication, especially on crisis?
Well, in a crisis, it's even more important than when things are running smoothly. And that's because there is a lot of fear and anxiety and questioning when a crisis goes on. And as we were talking about before, if the company doesn't have something to say during a crisis, then everyone will think of things to say, and that might be customers, it might be the media, it might be bloggers, it might be the employees. So it's very important during a crisis that a company is getting out its information and its side of the story to try and eliminate a lot of false rumors. The trick, though, is that sometimes during a crisis, well, you have to do it very quickly, and people don't feel like they have time. And it depends on the nature of the crisis, but sometimes people feel that, well, they want to have everything figured out before they talk. And so they can't, a crisis erupts and they feel like, well, I can't talk right now because we have to figure out what we're going to do about this situation. That might be particularly true in case of some kind of natural disaster or an oil spill or some kind of very unexpected thing that might happen to the company. And so then leaders will think, well, you know, we'll issue a statement in a week or so. But that's a very dangerous idea because during that week of silence, as I say, people are going to be making up things.
Yeah.
And so at the very least, the leaders need to come on and say, this is a terrible situation and we are working on a solution now, and please be patient. We will announce what we're going to do in a few days when we have figured it out. Now that kind of asking people to wait works if people trust the company. If they don't trust the company and they don't have something to say right away, they may not accept that, you know. Then they might talk about, well, these guys are so incompetent, why don't they get ready? Why weren't they ready for this? Can't they figure it out? And I think that's another part of crisis communication. The smartest thing that companies can do is to be ready for a crisis and think about what are the things that could happen to us. For example, I live in San Francisco, which is where a lot of earthquakes happen. And companies would be smart to think about, what if an earthquake happens and disrupts our business, and so that we can't provide our product or service? How are we going to deal with that? And people in other places or other types of businesses, they can anticipate the kinds of crises that might happen. For example, an oil company that is doing offshore drilling might think about what happens if something goes wrong and there's an oil spill. Just a couple of examples. Then there are other kinds of crises you can't really anticipate, but you can do some scenario planning, and so that there is a very quick response. So first of all, you have to be quick. You have to have trust, and by all means you have to be honest about what the company is doing. And that is particularly hard if the crisis is your fault. If somehow you have caused it. Let's say, well, think about the financial crisis in the United States that was the result of banks making very risky loans and some very bad decisions. That was entirely under the control of the bankers, and so they need to be honest about their responsibility and honest about what steps they might take to fix it.
Finally, Julie, you are here right now in Guadalajara Tecnológico de Monterrey with our students for a series of talks and a workshop which we called comunicación y dinero, communication and money. Do you think communication really can help to get more money to companies?
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course, communicators have to be smart about how they do their programs. They have to analyze what the situation is and understand who their audience is and what their audience's attitude is about the company. And the audience could be the employees or it could be the customers. And if they plan their messages and their campaigns in such a way that's appropriate for their audiences, it can make people want to buy the products, believe in the company, both in terms of being a customer and also in terms of being an employee, so that you want to work for the company and you want to contribute to the company's success. I mean, the basic purpose of a business is to make money.
It is.
And when communicators help the company achieve its purposes, then they're making a valuable contribution to a company's success.
Well, those are very specific things that many companies could use and would be helpful for them. So, Julie, thank you very much for being here with us today. Julie está aquí con nosotros como parte de este programa de líderes académicos del Tecnológico de Monterrey, Campus Guadalajara. Julie Freeman, la presidenta de la International Association of Business Communicators. Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Despedimos de esta forma nuestra emisión del día de hoy de Panorámico, una producción de la Licenciatura en Ciencias de la Comunicación del Tecnológico de Monterrey, Campus Guadalajara. Les recuerdo que este programa se transmite todos los días lunes por este espacio de Canal 7 del Sistema Jalisciense de Radio y Televisión. Mi nombre es Santiago Corona y espero que nos puedan sintonizar la próxima semana aquí en Panorámico. Muchas gracias.